Okay, I have 6:33, so I guess we'll call the meeting to order. So if you will all join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of
of the United States of America
and to the
and to the
republic
republic
for which
for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and
and
justice.
justice for all.
Right, thank you. You'll note the flag had a little wind in homage to the wind that we've had for the last week. So Rob sent out the meeting minutes from December 21st. Does anyone have any questions, concerns, comments about the minutes as have been presented? Hearing none, I will make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Second?
Second by Marion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none, the motion passes. The Vso report.
Y'all ready for this? Okay, here we are, Vso Report. To the Veterans Advisory Board, January 18th. The Wakefield Veterans Monthly Food Bank will be held tomorrow, January 19th. And we will have one additional recipient. And as always, the Wakefield Food Pantry located at the Civic Center offers one full bag per person of much needed dry goods, such as paper towels, shaving cream, razors, soap, and shampoo, etc. They're delivered to the senior center the day before, which is the downstairs now, for distribution along with the Greater Boston Food Bank food items. We've received many thank yous messages over the holidays for the tremendous gratitude for helping folks make it more comfortable during these trying times. I've been working from my home office for the last 2 weeks as I tested positive with my at-home quick test. And although I only had a sniffle and a sneeze, it was the proper policy to follow. At the senior center, we are required to test weekly now, even though we have received all shots and boosters. I tested this morning negative, and I feel like $1 million. If at any time I should test positive, I'll be going back to working from home. Chapter 115, the first of the yearly 6-month certifications for the Chapter 115 clients in Wakefield have been submitted, and the January checks have been dispersed. We've received a few calls regarding the checks being a bit lower than previous checks, and I've explained that the increase in Social Security offset that amount. One new Chapter 115 client has been added to our recipients as of January. The veteran and his spouse are grateful for the program and should keep them sustainable at their current location. And as they stated, it gives them hope. We've been able to offer a continuance to a new Gold Star spouse for the annuity, and she'll be receiving the dependent indemnity compensation of the DIC as a result of a service-connected death due to the Camp Lejeune contaminated water during his time in service. We have processed 3 new disability claims with the VA for compensation this month. Many of the claims have been outsourced to private agencies for examinations, with the backlogs at the VA being so high, and are located several miles from the veterans' homes. I have addressed this with the VA in Bedford at the eligibility office, and they have given me alternative locations and times by having the veteran and my office contact the agency. In one case, it was as much as 80 miles round trip. The change was made and the location was only 30 miles round trip. And in one case, it went directly to Bedford. The Veterans Service Office continues to reach out to the community for any veteran who may need our assistance, from navigating for benefits to agencies who can give them support in many areas, including wartime bonuses. Please call the office for further information if needed, 781-246-6377. I check my voicemail daily and will respond within 24 hours.
Any questions, concerns, comments about the report? I'll make a motion to accept the report as read.
Second.
Second.
I think
All in
Joe was
fa-
first.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed, hearing none, the motion carries. Veterans Corner articles. We had an article on the Canon and I think a couple of other items, coffee social, etc., that the item was kind enough to place in the newspaper. I have not received any feedback or anything else about the Canon. I kind of thought that the title may get a little bit more attention, but who knows if it got any attention. One of the things we had discussed at the coffee social was having a Veterans Corner article on property tax and other exemptions that are available to veterans in Wakefield. I reached out to Mr. Santaniello in the assessor's office. He forwarded me some information on the exemptions that are available. So my thought was I would put something together in the next week or so on that, just to kind of start a drumbeat to, raise some visibility on benefits that are available to veterans and or surviving spouses, dependents, etc. So as always, if anyone has a thought, an idea, wants to pick a benefit to write an article on, please feel free.
Just along those lines, Jay, the public is welcome to join the online conference tomorrow from 2 to 3 p.m. outlining our VA benefits from a federal perspective. It is an hour and it's sponsored by the Military Officers Association and the folks down in Washington, D.C.
Has that, I have it on my calendar for tomorrow. Has that been posted anywhere so that, other folks may avail themselves of the opportunity?
The only thing I've done is electronically posted it. That's it.
To us or elsewhere?
Well, there may be some content from that meeting that you can include in the next Veterans Corner article.
Okay, cool. And kind of following that, there's a meeting next Tuesday in Salem with the VSOs. I'm not sure who else are having with Representative Moulton. So if I honestly don't know if that's open to the public or not. But if anyone on this board has any issues, et cetera, that they would like to pose to Representative Moulton, please feel free to share them, and I'll try to make sure they get in front of him. Okay. Something on here for the Veterans Writing Project. Whoa, what is going on with this? David, Brian, and I had a meeting last week with two representatives from an organization that I can't remember either their names or the organization. It's and I'm sure that Brian and David can probably remember. What they are proposing or would like to pursue is they have a program that opens the prospect of writing, different forms of writing, memoirs or just fiction, nonfiction, whatever have you, to members of the general public. I know they've conducted a session down at Brightview, the Brightview facility for seniors, and they were proposing trying to solicit the veteran population to participate in this effort. We could certainly have them at a future coffee social if we'd like. They're good presenters. We could even invite them to a future meeting of this board if you'd like. It's an interesting concept. I think we've discussed it before that former VSO Andy Biggio wrote a book called The Rifle on, featuring the stories of World War II veterans. And, I think we've discussed it in this setting before that, everybody on this board has a story, knows stories, they don't necessarily need to be about you. They can be about an experience, whatever have you. But, one of the things that has been talked about for years is the fact that the World War II population is disappearing very quickly. And there was an effort, I'm not sure whether it was with the Smithsonian or Library Congress, whatever have you, to capture the oral histories of these veterans before they are in fact gone. So this would be an opportunity for members of the veteran community to pursue writing. It could be therapeutic. It could be, hey, start of a new career. Who knows? But it was interesting. So I enjoyed meeting with them, and who knows where we'll go from there. David?
Yes, it's Colleen, and the program was called The Room to Write.
There you go.
And I have access to them. If anyone's interested in their email, and if you want to contact them, let me know.
What was the name, Dave?
It's called The Room to Write. The Room to WRITE. Her name is Colleen.
Colleen, got it.
Oh,
It was a very interesting, as Jay said, it was a very interesting discussion from many different perspectives, particularly like Jay was saying, the veterans that are dying away. We're losing 590 Vietnam veterans each and every day, for crying out loud, and between all the different things that it entailed from that particular war, not to mention the World War II veterans and the Korean veterans. So they're trying to grab on as much information as they can, just for the sake of history, I think, too.
Something to keep in mind. Again, we could have them at a future coffee social. We could have them at this meeting to pitch it to the board. I don't think we had any concrete next steps. Certainly appreciate them reaching out to it. It's, there's no cost associated with these things. They get grants and donations, things like that. So it wouldn't cost a veteran anything to participate in this program, nor would it cost this board anything to sponsor the program, whatever have you. So,
Jay, there's another program that I watched today. I don't know if I think you watched it as well, the Northeast Passage.
no, I lost internet during that, so I couldn't see anything, but it was in New Hampshire, and it's
They'll come to us, though. They
Yeah.
said they would. So they bring everything from kayaks to skis to bow and arrows. It's an amazing organization. I'm gonna look more into it, though, in the future.
I think they planned to send us the PowerPoint or whatever have you, and when we get it, we could certainly share it with the board and
Good.
pull anything out of it that maybe if we want to run something in town. We have corner powered, et cetera, so you never know. Okay. Cool. Coffee social, next one, February 8th.
If I
Sure.
could jump, Jay, I
Yeah.
was on. I know Colleen personally, and anything she's involved in, I'm definitely for. And I know she was very involved with the Boys and Girls Club here in Wakefield. And I think Brian might be able to, get in on this. Is she has a program, I believe, on WCAT, Room to Write, and anything she's involved in, I'm for.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting presentation. And even, who knows where it goes from here. But like anything we've spoken about over these months and years, the hardest thing is getting people to, put their hand in the air and sign up for these things.
February 8th, is that what you said?
Yep, February 8th, I believe. We had, I think, 8 people sign in at the last coffee social.
Did everybody?
I'm sorry?
Did everybody? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry, Jay.
It's okay.
It's what happens when I have thoughts. If I don't get them out, they get lost.
Oh, you and me both.
It's awful about bringing a buddy. I
Yeah.
think we really to enforce that for the next one.
I don't think February 8th is gonna work. It's a Tuesday.
February 12th, I thought it was.
February
I think it's
12th.
12, yep,
February
okay,
12th,
good, okay.
everyone bring a buddy.
I apologize for not being there. I was spending the morning putting out misinformation about our Gold Star Wives Convention, unfortunately. My convention coordinator had been sick for 3 weeks, so I had to put out the fires. So I apologize. I will be at the 12th. She's all better now. She can handle it.
So you were putting out misinformation?
Putting out fires from misinformation.
Oh,
One
okay.
of our national offices decided to put out things, and I was getting all kinds of things from my region. Like I thought it was this, and I had to, and I had to finally get in touch with her and tell her, don't do it again.
I thought you were being self-deprecating too, Marion. Jay's very,
No, sorry, I wasn't clear on that. It wasn't a fun morning at all.
Yeah, so if you want to put out misinformation, you're in good company, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
no, I don't want to put out misinformation. I'm just trying
No,
to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, all too often we have a failure to communicate. There's no doubt
But I'll
about
be
it.
there on the 12th for sure.
Thanks. And, one of the things that was pretty cool at the very end, or towards the end, we had a visit from a bald eagle who decided to
Oh.
roost in a tree right outside the yacht club, and he or she stayed there for the remainder of the meeting and quite a while afterwards. I took a picture of it. It didn't seem bothered by my presence at all. It was pretty cool.
Well, for the last couple
Marine
weeks,
eagle, has to be a marine eagle, Jay.
I didn't see a globe and anchor, but I took it as a sign that somebody was watching over us. Right, so do we need to reach out to Derek again with coffee and donuts?
No,
Not
that's
a
just
month. Well said. Now, any thoughts on a speaker, anything like that? If we get the article written on property and real estate tax exemptions prior to this, I'll bring it with and we can use that as a handout. Anything we get from Paul's session tomorrow, we can certainly bring also.
You might want to ask Victor if he would, for Santinello, he might come as a speaker. He's a veteran himself. And if you
Yeah.
give him enough notice, he might be willing to come and speak on the different abatements and what have you.
Yeah.
Exactly. he likes Dunkin' Donuts coffee, though.
I'll go get him a cup.
Yeah. Well, it's, I certainly, he's, whenever I've reached out to him on town meeting articles, et cetera, he's been very supportive and very responsive.
He is, yeah.
I just, I just kind of wish we had a larger audience to justify his time.
Exactly. So what else, any other suggestions of how else we can get this out there? I mean, I try to blast it all over. It's all over my social pages. Any kind of groups that I belong to, community pages. I mean, I have it everywhere. I text people. I'm obnoxious with it. I'll text people it. I don't know how else to
I
action.
posted at the post office as well. I picked up this plastic stands this morning. But it was right there in the front, so people could see it. I think that it's, once again, it's the kind of thing, if they see it on a Wednesday, they say, oh, I gotta go to that. Come Saturday morning, they forget.
Well,
Maybe
you know,
if you, go ahead, Jay, sorry.
Go ahead, go ahead, Marion, I'm sorry.
I mean, maybe if they see that's the topic, they'll be more apt to come, because a lot of people really would like to know about that, because there are a lot of people that still don't know what abatements they can and cannot get. And they might look at it as something that they really would like to go here.
Pocketbook, hit them in the pocketbook.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
the staff at the Saugus Assessor's Office has corrected me 815 times. It's an exemption, not an abatement.
Well, yeah, there's abatements, there's
'Cause-
exemptions, right?
Because I kept calling it an abatement,
No, it's an
and they
exemption.
gave me that. I used some sort of a knucklehead
Yeah.
look and said, no exemption. So I think I've finally gotten it, but I'm not certain. Yeah, so yeah, certainly not a bad idea. I'll circle back with him and see if he's interested.
Okay.
And we can certainly get him a cup of dunks. No, not a problem. Okay, cool. We have moving on to Veterans Field Memorial Project. I don't think we had anything new in that regard. You know, I don't know if we wanted, all things being equal, I don't know if we wanted to target Veterans Day for something on this, Memorial Day for something on this, or, when we can pick up the project in earnest. I think the best way to do this is to have somebody take the lead on the project. A couple of people, one person, 3 people, 7 people, whatever the case may be, and take ownership of it and move it forward, because kicking the can on this every month isn't getting us anywhere on it.
I'm willing to take something on it and get a couple of people. I know Brian had expressed some interest in it, and just form a little subcommittee with maybe a small little program to go along with the dedication of the sign. Maybe
That's-
get a hold of the American Legion, where they are the ones that basically started Veterans Field.
Mhm.
And,
So Dan, you want to lead the effort?
yeah,
Anyone else want to join in?
Yep.
Brian, Brian and Joe. Good start. Thank you. Because I think it'll be, just the story behind it, I think it'll be cool. Because, if we can dig up some old photos of when it used to be a terrace in the outfield, prior to it having the kind of slope it has now. And especially if we can continue to have some generous sponsorship for the sign itself, I think it'll be a great addition. Cool.
there's very, very few pictures out there of Veterans Field. I looked for years, and I even went to the library and talked, I believe it's Jeff, the resources officer there, and he could find very few pictures of Veterans Field. There's like 2 that I know of. But yeah, they used to have a granite stone staircase that might have been 12 feet wide that went directly in center field up. And then all the light posts used to be metal. And matter of fact, this time of year, they used to take one of the light posts and move it around backwards so it shined on Hartson's Cove so people could skate there at night.
Cool. Imagine how many center fielders now have bad knees from running into that staircase.
It's still there too, according to Dennis Foster. He said they just landscaped over it. And Ray, that's why it's terraced there.
Cool. Again, there's, I don't know what the demographics of town looks like. How many people have been in town since Christ roamed the earth, like Dan? How many people have been in, for like 5 to 7 years, like Dave? I just get a feeling that there are a lot of, people like myself, 30, 35 years that never knew
Right.
until I spoke with Dennis that there used to be stairs in center field. Ice houses along the lake and on and on and on. I think Wakefield has a pretty unique history that, we can take a small part in, just bringing it back type of thing.
And I know they're doing a lot of work on Veterans Field, the old tennis courts there, making them into pickleball courts. They're
Pickleball.
doing the pathway, the
Yeah.
floral way they're working on. A lot of stuff's going on there this coming spring.
And shocked that somebody's complaining about
Yeah, I
the
know.
runoff abatement things along the walk. Shocked, huh?
We have a lot of calendars here at the senior center with photographs from the old Wakefield. Each month has a different photo. I'm gonna look to see, Dan, if there's one in there for the Veterans Field.
That's one that's taken beside the Hot Sun House, and it's called the North Ave Playground, I believe.
Hmm.
But it was the American Legion that had an article at town meeting and had it actually called Veterans Field. So that is the actual name, though it was never dedicated because it ran right into World War II and people forgot about things. But this is why I say after 80, 85 years, what a great thing to do, rededicate that to all the veterans in Wakefield.
Awesome.
Nice.
Write it down. That's the way that's the mission statement of the project. Cool. Maybe by 4th of July, there's a parade next year, right?
Yep.
And as you can see on the new signage, it says dedicated to all Wakefield veterans. And then
Great sign, great sign.
Great.
Dan.
Then we'll work on a granite monument for the common that denotes it as Veterans Memorial Common. Cool. Well, thank you very much. It's a good team. Memorial Day 2022. Going to be here before we know it, so we're going to have to start lining up. I'm going to send an email to the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Legion. We're probably about due to have representative, the priest from Blessed Sacraments serve as the member of clergy. Because the last one we had was Father Coughlin, and I don't remember how many years ago that was.
Used to be a green one.
So we'll see. Any thoughts on a guest speaker? It's usually the hardest part.
Yeah, the way, West Side, it's the hardest part of the whole program, getting a speaker.
I could reach out to the gentleman that came and awarded the Medal of Liberty to the Peach family. I'm at a loss for his name all of a sudden. I have it in my notes.
McGurn?
McGurn, thank you. Yes, General McGurn. He's a National Guard, a Reserve General. He's still activated though for giving out the Medal of Liberties.
Yep.
And I'm sure I ran by him during the ceremony, after the ceremony, and he said, "Give me a call." He'd be delighted. So he deals a lot with that particular medal. He can talk about the medal and how significant it is to the families whose loved ones never came back from war.
Sounds like an appropriate speech for Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So
You know,
if you wouldn't if you wouldn't mind reaching out to them, that'd be great.
I will.
And there, where would this be?
At the Galvin, unless something
Galvin?
changes. Of course, the end of Omicron is all over the news, so who the heck knows what's happening? What, you know, hopefully we're seeing our way out of this craziness. So like I said, I'll send an email to the people that historically have been involved and just to give them a heads up. I think we kind of already talked about the tax exemptions. You know, again, I'll share what I come up with before it ever goes to press. Okay. Next on the agenda is board turnover. I don't know whether you saw it, but a few weeks ago, there was an article in the item announcing vacancies for the different boards in town. I was kind of surprised to see the Veterans Advisory Board looking for 3 new people, as I wasn't aware that we had 3 openings, but that's fine. To date, we haven't received any response to that. But we do have some terms that are ending in I'm sorry, I think I said, I let you know last month that Jackie has resigned from the board. She'll be moving to Maine. We do have a couple of members whose terms are up at the end of April. Melinda and Dan. My term is also up at the end of April, and I have made the decision that I am not going to continue on the board. I'll be stepping away from the board and my Saugus VSO position during the month of April. So I'll be retiring for the 3rd time in my life, at least the 3rd time in my life.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on your full retirement. You deserve
Yes,
it, Jay.
finally. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So again, I think at a past meeting, I thought somebody had brought up that they knew somebody who was interested in serving, but I'm not sure. But
I do know
Yeah.
somebody would be
Okay.
interested, and I'll
Yeah.
talk about them.
so I'll make it a point to try to get something else in the paper announcing that, we're number one, what the mission of the board is, and that we have at least 3 openings that we're trying to fill, and solicit some new memberships from there.
Jay, what I think it is now is every board that's appointed, everybody, even for a reappointment, you have to put in a resume, even if you're already on that board. And it isn't 3 openings, it's just 3 appointments for the expired terms. And I
Okay.
think with Jackie and you, that would be 2 more on top of that. So
Yeah.
that's why there's so many openings on all these boards, and they try to do them all at once.
Okay. Yeah, I reached out to town hall on it, and
And
it wasn't as clear as you just made it sound.
I think what you need to do on some of these boards or commissions, if you're already on the board, it's nice to get a recommendation from the chairman of that existing board to help you be reappointed. And if anybody even on this board right now can write a letter supporting somebody else, it helps out when the councilors decide to appoint people.
Well, if either of you are intending to continue, just let me know, and I'll be glad to write something. Because I think the board would be glad to have you.
Yep.
So here we are in January. And before you know it, that thing about the state grant program is going to be coming out again. And we will be behind the power curve again. I think, I don't know if the cannon is would be appropriate for that. I don't remember I'll find the grant application again to see what it says.
I think it
Um,
would be. And the
yeah.
cannon's like a 25 to 30K.
As I remember, it
That's a
It needs-
ballpark. That's a ballpark,
needs-
25 to 30.
yeah, it needs matching funds from the town though. So I think one of the things we'd have to do is come up with something that we want to propose a grant for, go to the town, see if they can find funds, matching funds, and then we go to the state. And then they grant it or not. But I don't know if you can do, I don't know if you can do it without having matching funds. But we'll have to
No,
refresh
I
on
don't think
that.
so.
I think it's at a 50% match.
Yeah.
But I could be misremembering, but that's in my head.
50% match.
I thought
Okay.
it was. And
Yeah.
I thought it was also like it could be in kind, like labor.
Yeah,
So
see,
part of
the cannon would have to be done by a preserver, restorer for the cannon. I mean, I have no idea what the cost of that would be. And I don't know if this would actually be on the Veterans Advisory Board or would it be the Historical Commission? And I hate to see them fighting in between here.
They're good weapons.
Or requires a collaboration, most likely.
Yeah.
yeah, and to be fair, there hasn't been a lot of things that have required that collaboration in the past. I think there's been a few minor points of tension that were, kind of easily resolved with effective communication, as is not unusual. But
Well, the Veterans Advisory Board would have the ability to get this grant where I don't think the Historical Commission would be able to get that grant. So that's,
I found it. It's it can't exceed 15 grand. It's a maximum of 15,000 for applications from a single place. And it says matching funds are granted in amounts up to 50% of total project costs. But it is eligible. Preservation projects, it says requests may be submitted for preservation, safety, and accessibility improvements to physical structures and sites, which may include site stabilization, protection, rehab, restoration, landscape preservation. I mean, we can make the argument.
mhm.
and this,
But
this-
yeah, it's a lot of money that would not be covered. So you'd have to, I mean, ideally you'd find multiple sources.
it just
First
rested
would
like cannons is so expensive. It's
first
unbelievable.
would have to find the cannon.
Well, cannon, I know where the cannon is and it's in pieces. And that's the problem. To put it together, I know the wheels are there, the carriage is there, and I know the metal cannon itself is there. But it's separated and it would have to be put together again. It is a Revolutionary War cannon. And that's the missing part on the common, is that Revolutionary part. Once it's rebuilt, it's all wood, so it would sit out there in the weather. It would 20 years from now, who knows what it would look like, but
Yeah.
it is a Revolutionary War cannon.
But they're not restoring it to fire it, so
Well-
if they're restoring it for preservation wise, I think for visuals, I don't think it'd run that expensive.
It actually
15 grand to gut it.
76. And it was
Yeah,
fired on Pleasure Island, and it was fired at the 4th of July on the Common. And I do have pictures, I think I sent out to Jay, showing the firing of it, but that was on the Common 4th of July, 76.
Yeah,
So it-
and I think that was part of the article that was written, is they had to have those wheels recreated, if you will, because they
Yeah.
had probably
Wheels,
rotted
the
out
wheels-
after being out in the elements.
The wheels are huge. I mean, they're probably above my head, the wheels. They're huge.
5 feet tall, huh?
But they said when they
Hey,
They fired it at Poker Island. They put a charge in it, and they really didn't know how much of a charge to put in it. And they said that the cannon probably went up 10 feet up in the air and came back down again. And then when they did it 4th of July, 76, they had a little bit of an idea how much powder charge to put into it.
Wow.
So if you do this, you also have to file a form with the Massachusetts Historical Commission if you're going to do anything related to physical structure. The easier get would be a partnership with the Room to Write place. Because the Heritage Grant is all about preservation of records and experiences of military veterans. So it seems to lend itself more to that.
Yeah.
sounds like a grand idea.
That would be a marriage made to work, I think. You said communication and being the currency of a successful trade-off. That would be perfect.
I know
Yeah.
all the cannons that are on the common, like the Civil War ones that are up next to the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. Those are all listed as like an historic building. I know the state or the government or something knows all about them. And I believe they even list that one that's down by the DPW. It looks like an anti-aircraft gun. It used to be on Moulton Playground years ago. But I guess they're listed as historic sites or artifacts. So I don't know if that cannon, the cannon itself is not a real cannon. It's a replica of, and it was restored in pieces.
Is the gentleman that was named in that article still in Wakefield or still alive? What was his name? 40? If you remember it from the original Looking Backward article that I cited?
I
No.
don't know.
Yeah.
I know it was Wakefield in 76 created a little militia. And those are the ones that restored the cannon back in the 70s. And it only lasted a couple of years after 76. And then the militia out of existence. I think one of the people that was on it, maybe Brian would know him, and that's David Workman, I believe was something
Oh,
to
yeah.
do. So I think he might be very interested in it if it could be restored. And he's one of the curators of the Little Red Schoolhouse.
See, the history behind the history.
I am history.
Got that right.
Illustrious history. Cool. Well, thank you. Kind of beat that one around. How about other business?
The discount program is still alive and well in Wakefield. I know we haven't been kicking it around like we were when it first got initiated, but I was at the North Ave Diner the other day for breakfast, and they're willing to do the program as well. So I'm going to bring in the paperwork to them and get them involved with the decal that Christie had developed. And yeah, I'm going to start that up again with you, Christie, if you want to get going out in the springtime. We'll do some more research on that. And around March or April, we'll get the gun rolling. No pun
Good thing.
intended.
Yeah, I finally went into Charlie's on Main and saw his little sticker there.
Yep.
There was one day when there was parking out front, so I went in and got a large Italian. It was
You got
good.
the discount. You got the discount.
It was good. One thing that I happened across today is that March 29th is Vietnam Veteran Day.
Yeah.
And it historically has kind of snuck up on me and others. I wanted to bring it up to see if we wanted to do anything other than just noting the day and media, whatever have you. You know, again, you know, COVID would probably put a stick in the spokes of anything that we tried to do. You know, we could solicit, well, I mean, we're going to be doing this anyhow for the roll to DC. You know, we had the 50th commemoration of the Vietnam War that's been going on for a few years. A few years ago, we had a ceremony and included the Vietnam veterans at the high school football game. Department of Defense has a program where they give lapel pins and a certificate, et cetera, to Vietnam veterans. I don't think we've done one in a couple of years. We could try to do that. Ask Vietnam veterans to reach out to us, to be recognized on that day. For a formal ceremony, an informal ceremony. Plus, we're going to be putting out the applications for the trip to DC in September here pretty quick. We need to do a lot more fundraising though. I haven't been able to get any data on how effective the mailing that we did was. Marion?
I have taken this to the Council of Clubs tomorrow night. And I'm wondering, Dave, have you got any more of the flyers that you had on Veterans Day? I think it was, that was on the table, like the cards that I
For
can,
the roll to watch.
for the roll to, that I can
Yes.
come pick up and take so that they
Yes,
can put
I
them out
do.
at the clubs?
I do.
I'll call you and come by tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's the food pickup day, so I won't be up in the office till around noon.
Okay.
And
You need
actually, I
any
gotta
help with the
deliver
food?
About 12:30 be good, Marion.
Okay, you need any help distributing food or anything?
Oh, I'm good, I'm good. I can actually leave them up front with Mary Ann and you can grab them from her.
All right,
Okay?
all right.
Just
I'll come afternoon time then. All right,
Okay, great,
thanks.
great.
Yeah, because that way I can give them to take to the clubs and
Awesome.
get
And
down
Jay,
there.
I sent an email on that, I think it's $1,476 check that the kids raised on the cleanup project from the Board of Health.
Mhm.
Amy did, I think his name is Amy. And I'm waiting to hear from her now. And I think I sent you a copy of the email I sent to my brother-in-law's, Boeing Aviation.
Mm-mm,
You get that? No?
mm-mm.
I sent also to Benevento Asphalt and Concrete. I sent them a letter in regards to with a copy of the application to fill out for sponsorship. And next week, I hope to get a hold of the folks at Raytheon. So.
Okay.
It's just been crazy.
Yeah, and we haven't been able to meet for the last couple of months either, so.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Anything else for the good of the group?
Hey, Jay, just a small question.
Hmm.
The wreaths that we laid around town,
Hmm.
are they gonna come down? Like the one at Conley, Colonel Conley Field up there, the one in front of the memorial?
Yeah, they do come down at some point, usually when they start getting a little ragged. I've gone around town and picked them up and disposed of them. We can certainly do that. I haven't, when I go by the common in the morning, it's still dark, so I haven't looked at them, what they look like. The ones down at Forest Glade still look good. The ones, have you seen some that are kind of looking a little past due?
The one up at the top of the lake there, Colonel Connolly, I keep putting it up, but when I walk around the lake,
I do the same thing with the flags next to the headstone.
yeah.
They're always broken, and I put the aluminum holder in there, and that doesn't seem to do any good either. So, yeah, all right, cool. So tomorrow at 2 is the webinar on VA benefits that Paul shared. Like I said, I have it on my schedule to attend. Hopefully there's some good guidance coming from that, and we can share it more widely as we move forward. Okay?
Did somebody send out the passcode and the ID for that? I don't know.
You
if
have to, yeah, I'll send it to you, Dan. You have to register.
Yeah, when you
Okay.
register, you get an email confirmation back that hopefully you just kind of click through and go to it. It's a MMOA.
Yep,
Okay, cool.
I'll send Dan an email. Anybody else need it?
Well
Can you
said,
be-
I'm on it.
Mike does.
Me too, please.
Yeah, if you can, Paul, please.
Hold on, Dan. Mike,
Mike, Christie, awesome.
okay.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor? Aye, thank you very
Aye.
much.
Aye.
Aye.
Stay safe.